Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. First of all, happy Raksha Bandhan for today. Today we are going to discuss about the Blackrock interview experience. Blackrock is a dream company for many of you. Blackrock came in our campus in fourth year, first sem, majorly recruiting 22 people. So they recruited in bulk for a good package of 22 LPA for CSD. CSD, yesterday BlackRock came for two roles. The first is client services delivery, which is for their Aladdin product, and second is product development. CSD was for 22 LPA and product development was for 18 LPA. I was selected for BlackRock. Selected means I got up to three rounds, and after that I was rejected. Round one, they asked about aptitude test. For CSD, the aptitude test was easy. There were three sections. The first section had aptitude, which contains quant reasoning. Second section was only reasoning, and third section was interesting, was coding decoding. So if anyone has done the input type questions where you have given seven statements, input one, input two, input three, input four, and then you have to predict the eighth statement. So it was like that. The test for product development was aptitude plus one coding question for product development, and time limit was 90 minutes for that. And there were four sections. Of course, the three sections from the first one, and one extra coding question. So I was selected for CSD one. My friend gave the product development one. So I am sharing his experience of product development while I'm sharing my experience for CSD. So in round two was a virtual interview on WebEx where you have to turn on your camera. There were two panelists. First of all, the panelists were very chill. They show very good behavior and were nice with talking, of course. The questions asked were first they asked about introduce yourself and they walked through my resume and they just identified that what all points I have included. So there is a special hint here. So if you are applying for the PhD position, that Aladdin services, so please don't include something which you have not revised in present because it happened with me. I have included probability and statistics. So that was my resume, I think second, third resume. Now my resume is totally different, but that was during my fourth year, first time. So the resume was different at that time. So I included probability and statistics in it while I was not well versed with it. I have done all the probability and statistics theorems as well as formulas, but the problem was I was not in being touched it for a long time as my college was going on. So because of which there was an ambiguity in my interview number one. So I would go through quickly the questions asked for me through the round. The first question they asked me, of course, interview yourself and walk through your resume. Second, they asked me about gradient descent and its maxima and minima achievement condition. So gradient descent we'll all know. Here you can elaborate. So I elaborated here. And I also explained about gradient descent, not only gradient descent. I also explained them about all types of gradient descent, such as stochastic gradient descent, batch gradient descent, mini batch gradient descent, etc. Then they asked me about what is the minima condition and what is the maxima condition. Then he also asked me about suppose a ball is going down a slope and when it reaches at the bottom of the slope, what is the condition achieved? So this was a typical ML question. Third is a probability and stat two probability and stats question were asked. That's where I have included the hint that please don't include something that you have not revised in present because there were certain theorems such as T theorem or chi-square theorem which are not revised in probability and they ask questions about it. So basically it creates a bad impact on the interviewer because you have not revised something and he is asking you the question. So here the two probability questions were asked me was first was a three digit standard question. You can get it on anywhere. Second was again a standard question where you have three tanks, X1, X2, X3. And with the help of three tanks, the tanks have certain inlets and outlets. Tanks are given and you have to give a solution that how you will pour a certain liters of water in the fourth tank. So it is a standard puzzle. So this was, I would say, rather say a puzzles and a standard probability and stats question. Next, they asked me finance related terms. First, they asked me, do you have knowledge of finance? So I have read the whole finance book. So I have a good knowledge. So they asked finance related terms like assets, liabilities, loan reimbursements, moat, etc. And I answered them well. So I was selected for the next round. In the next round, it was basically technical and managerial round, where they asked me to open my notepad, share my screen, and first question was write code to implement inheritance. So this was actually an indirect question. So give me a situation related to a grandparent, a parent, and child, and some constraints regarding to them. And actually, I do not remember the question because the interview was, I think, it had been 6 to 7 months. So the exact question I'm not able to remember, but it was a condition related question which was solved using inheritance. So I implemented inheritance and they were pretty impressed. Second, they asked me about TensorFlow and write a schema of pipeline using it. So here I was certainly trapped because I have not revised TensorFlow again for a long time of duration. And I was not well versed with this parameterization thing because at just that amount of time, at just that instant of time, we were taught deep learning in our college. So I was not able to answer this question well. Third is what are your strengths and weaknesses? So I answered this question regarding weaknesses. I would certainly suggest that I think these are some questions which you need to prepare a different sheet for this type of questions and include different cases. Fourth is they asked me about what do you know about Aladdin. So here one more mistake I did was did not research much about Aladdin. So actually I heard about Blackrock and I heard about Aladdin, but that was not well versed. I believe the answer they were expecting was in depth, and here I was again, I think, scaled down. So, and the result was I was not selected for HR round. My friend got selected in BlackRock and he also got an PPO. So, first of all, this was an internship plus PPO opportunity. I will tell you the amount. The internship amount was 50,000 for 6 months, and after potential conversion of PPO, you will get a 22 LPA package where the base would be around 10 to 13, and rest is all ESOPs and all. You don't know. I think you will know if you join that company. The possible reasons which I think I was not selected was, first of all, I was not able to write the pipeline with suitable parameters. Second is was not prepared that much for behavioral questions. So that's why I tell you, please prepare a template for behavioral questions, such as what are your strengths and how you are going to represent them. So basically, you will go if you go to Glassdoor. After going to Glassdoor, you will get certain behavioral questions. Just go to Glassdoor, check those behavioral questions, and open the camera and answer the behavioral questions in front of the camera, so that you get some templates. Okay, how you want to react. Okay. Third was the panelists were expecting more. Actually, they were very friendly panelists and very down to earth, but they had very high expectations. Of course, if someone is giving you a package of 22 lakh CTC, it's almost the average of an IIT. Okay, if someone is giving you that much, then the expectations would be high. And I think there were other people in my panel, which were other people in my group. Actually, when they did the recruitment, they distributed students into different groups. So one panel for one group. So my panel group maybe had some two other candidates which were better than me. So I think because of which I was not selected. So that is all BlackRock related interview experience. Thanks for watching and enjoy. Keep preparing.